Welcome! This is Nathan, welcome back to another video. Today we're taking a look at a scenario where Japan forms an empire. Now, the Empire series has included a lot of the strongest countries in the world, but I've done basically all the top 10 at this point, except from like China. I've not done China yet. Wow. I should really do China, shouldn't I? I don't know why I've never gone to China. Japan, South Korea, that's really it, to be honest. If you want to say I haven't done Indonesia yet, which they're getting an empire soon, don't worry. It's just, oh my god, I am so sorry for this. Indonesia will get an empire soon, and I've not done any South Asian. There is a lot of these countries that could get an empire. I'm looking at like 5 videos right now I can make out of this. And also, special announcement, this will be the last video you are seeing until my birthday, which is August 17th. I may have a surprise for that, I'm not going to say. Last year I did 3 Empire videos. I may have a surprise. Just wait. Now, Japan here, they're in a location which is going to be like hell on earth to expand with. They have South Korea over here, they have the Philippines down here, they have Indonesia, Malaysia, Vietnam, China, Russia, they have Australia down here, they have India. They're in a hellish spot to like do any type of expansion. Because if they did, big China would say something about it. Well, not really, because the USA. Anyway, Japan here is going to be buffed. I don't normally do this for like the stronger countries, but I think Japan is kind of like, you have to buff them or else they can't expand. And I mean it. They wouldn't be able to expand if I didn't buff them. They may be able to take out Southeast Asia, but then China will get involved, and if they go to war with China, they're dead. So, Japan's first target will be the Philippines. And I'm not colouring all these lines until the thing. So, we see the Japanese Navy, which is going to be a really crucial part to this. That is definitely way too light. We see them make a landing in northern Philippines and push down to capture Manila. And this goes extremely well. Japan is really strong, the Philippines is as well, but this is really buff Japan. And with this, the Philippines is going to crumble as their main island will capitulate. After this, Japan will hop over these islands one by one. And after making a landing on the last island, the Philippines will surrender. And just like that, Japan will fully annex the Philippines. That's a lot of land they just gained. For God's sake. I don't know if you guys can see it on screen right now. I'm just going to put my phone like this. Japan now looks down to Malaysia and says, "You're my next yummy victim." That sounds weird. And well, they definitely are. Japanese troops will make a landing over here in this part of Malaysia, which, let's be honest, it's gonna fall quick. And while they're doing this, they also invade Brunei, which, to be honest, I don't think anybody would even care. I mean, I know it's sad because people are dying, but, like, it's Brunei. I don't know if anybody's gonna care. Then they make a landing in the mainland. They push up, and Malaysia's weaker than, Philippines, so they're gonna fall. I think this is the capital name. Kuala Lumpur is captured, and as well as every other major city. Singapore, which is this thing right here, is taken and annexed. And Malaysia will surrender over to Japan. Let's take a look at this peace treaty. And just like that, Japan is now touching Malaysia. Malaysia. Damn it! Indonesia is now worried as Japan is now bordering their troops with port. I am speaking gibberish. Indonesia is now worried as Japan is lining the border with troops. So Indonesia is going to try and get help. Nobody's going to help them. The other person willing to help is India, but like, we hold sort of relations with Japan, and we also don't support their expansion. This is kind of similar to Russia and Ukraine in real life. India doesn't support side. Same here, India does not support signing Japan's rapid expansion. Nobody likes it, except for maybe these guys and these guys who If you know history, you know why. I'm just kidding, that was a history joke. But after a while, Japan will invade Indonesia. Now, this is by far their toughest opponent yet. Now, why aren't they going into Southeast Asia? Because, well, they're also going to declare war on East Timor. Timor-Leste, if you want to call it that. This is by far going to be the toughest opponent they've had to fight yet. Now, why not go after Southeast Asia? I mean, it's easy to nitpick here. You can take Thailand, Cambodia, Laos, Vietnam, Myanmar, and also the Korean Peninsula, if China would allow you to even invade North Korea, if even that put troops on the border. But they want Indonesia for one thing: population and resources. So, Japanese troops will enter into Indonesia and begin taking Borneo, and this is bad. This is a rampaging rate. Japan has not got any mercy, and Borneo was taken within the first few weeks of the war. I don't think it would be taken that quick. We now have a landing of Japanese troops from Malaysia's peninsula into Sumatra. I only recently just learned their name. They make it their goal to cut it in half, and with this they take the entire northern part. But Indonesia is now prepared. Well, this is happening, they lost this island, but it doesn't really matter. And this one. But Indonesia is now prepared for Japan. Now, Indonesia is a top 20 power, I think a top 15 actually. But we're assuming Japan is number 3, and, you know, they can push back, but this will end well. So Indonesia pushes back up here, because the troops are focused going up this way. But once reinforcements arrive from the Malay Peninsula, it's gonna end in, you know, death. So we have Indonesia quickly evacuate all the troops from Sumatra to say, just get out of there, because you're gonna die. And at this point, what Indonesia does is smart and dumb at the same time. They kind of retreat all troops from these islands and tell them to guard Java. Now, they protect some of the islands near Java, but Japan is gonna land near Jakarta. And Indonesia is now screaming in fear as they just lost Jakarta, wherever it is. Troops will now jump over these 2 islands and are now in Java itself. And this is a bloody war. This is taking probably years for Japan. But finally, Indonesia will surrender over to Japan. So let's take a look at the history. So, just like you expect, oh my god, Japan annexes all the important land, and yeah, they didn't pop at the rest of Indonesia. This is extremely weak. And we end up seeing Papua New Guinea just invade it. It's free land. So, just like that, New Guinea is now completely united under one country. Now, does Japan want to invade Papua New Guinea? No, they don't want to. They don't see any value in invading Papua New Guinea. So, they will focus away from Papua New Guinea and put their focus on Taiwan. Now, in this situation, China would not allow this because they see Taiwan as their land. And they'd be like, you better leave it. And that's what they're doing here. They say, Japan, you better leave it or we are going to war with you. Japan looks at China and just says, get out of here. And China's very mad at this. But China realizes them versus Japan would be a stalemate, and also Japan would probably get India involved. So China lets this slide, but they say to Japan, you invade any else of our allies, which would include Myanmar, Laos, Cambodia, kind of Thailand, North Korea, you will face the consequences. So, Just like expected, Japan will invade and annex Taiwan. The next target will be South Korea. Now, South Korea will be their toughest target yet, but I wouldn't exactly worry. Japan has this, even though the rankings are 6-3, so it might be tough. They take this island right here. I'm trying to name it, I'm sorry. And make a landing on South Korea's mainland. And from here, this is a really bloody war. The amount of troops dying here is insane, but Japan sees it as worth it. And this is causing really just... A lot of countries are not supporting this, but eventually we have a really painful push up to Seoul, which captures the city, and South Korea will collapse over to Japan. Be steady, don't need to pause the video every time. It will be full-scale annexation on South Korea. But now, Japan finds himself kind of at a stalemate. They don't have anywhere to expand. Except for Vietnam, China is now guaranteeing the independence of all these countries by here. And the USA is now even guaranteeing the independence of Papua New Guinea. And they're not doing it for Vietnam. That might be bad, because Japan sees a little loophole and will go after Vietnam. Now, the USA and Vietnam were planning on making I will make sure you stay independent. So will the USA get involved? No. The USA simply does not care, even though they are number one. That would be one hell of a war, but they would definitely win. Like against, well, I don't know, Russia might be a stalemate. So, Japan will now begin to invade Vietnam, and they will cut the country in two, and they struggle with the jungle, but they don't care. They make a landing over here, and will join Hanoi, and they make a landing over here, and will join Ho Chi Minh City, if that's what you call it. And from here, Vietnam crumbles, just like every other country has to Japan, and they will surrender. Let's take a look at the peace treaty. And this will be Japan right now. They are stuck. They can't expand anywhere. Except for one place. And you know what I'm pointing at here. Japan realizes that the USA's kind of messed up here. They haven't guaranteed the independence of Australia. And Japan will invade Australia. That's right. Japan will go to war with Australia. Now the USA is like, whoa. Hold up there, buddy. You need to stop. Japan's like, what are you going to do? You weren't proclaiming their independence. The USA's like, yeah, but they're still our ally. You can't really invade them. Japan says, I don't care. And they continue with the war. Now the USA will not get involved, but they will heavily supply Australia. And New Zealand will also supply Australia by allowing other countries to. So that might be the struggle of Japan here. The USA will officially grant Australia their independence after this war, because there's no way Japan's being this. And Japan will make a landing up here in the north. They begin pushing down, but immediately Australian defences stop them. They realise that the USA is heavily funding this. So what do? They make a landing by here. And also go over here and take over this island. And they wrap around the coast and connect up. At this point, Japan is now starting to conscript and send troops down here. And this is where Australia kind of starts to fall apart. Japan is making outrageous gains now. The USA is supplying Australia, but it's not even enough. Japan will now focus moving down the coast here, and they do it fine. And, let's just say, this is looking really bad for Australia. Japan is taking land without any issues. And Australia will, after a lot of fighting and also the capturing Canberra, I'm not going to show that, Australia will surrender over to Japan. So let's take a look at this peace treaty. So, as we can see, Japan annexed basically the entire, what would you call this? The coast of Australia over here. And Japan's empire is looking amazing. But they are now officially stuck. They are now trapped. If they attack Australia or Papua New Guinea, they are at war with the USA. If they attack any of these southeastern countries, they are at war with China. Same with North Korea. If they attack Russia, that will be really painful. If they attack Sri Lanka, I'm sure India would have something to say about it, as well as China. And, you know, Africa, I don't know if that's really in their interest. So Japan says, you know what? Screw it. We're going to war with China. And also North Korea. Now, in the thing, it did not say that if Japan declared war on, you know, like Laos, Thailand, Myanmar and Cambodia to get involved, it would only be China. So, while Japan's invading North Korea, China's getting involved, but these other countries aren't. Japan sees this as basically their final expansion of land, as their empire will probably be too big to expand anymore, but they will be happy, hopefully. So they immediately take Hayden, and from Taiwan, they will make a landing in... Ooh, that's way too small. They will make a landing in the mainland of China, which is outstanding, but this is a number 3 versus 4. North Korea gets steamrolled, and Japanese troops begin to enter into Manchuria. Now, China is, like, struggling here, because Japan is a really powerful country at this time. Troops from Vietnam begin to exit out from the entire border, and sadly for China, they have an enemy that's going to join this war. That enemy will be India. With that, it's the wrong call. Never expect those two on the same team. India will join the war on the side of Japan. Immediately after this, Pakistan's like, nope, and they join the war. Only for India to say, get out of our life. If you know what's coming, you know what's coming. Pakistan is just obliterated. Nothing matter this. I've done Empire for Pakistan and India. Go watch those videos. Because I don't care that much if you're mad at it. I do. And Indian troops now begin to enter into Chinese land. And China is scrambling on what to do. They try and get Myanmar involved, but they find themselves, so they say, nope. India was not in support of Japan, but they saw this as an opportunity. And the word is, they don't know what to do. Russia is in support of probably India, but maybe China, but then they'd be going against it. I don't know. The USA is in support of nobody, because, well, I guess they'll be supporting India, but not really, because they're an aggressor in the situation. But China, I guess they'll be supplying China. But with China now getting really overwhelmed and their troops doing nothing, China realizes and starts saying to the troops, get your butts off the sofa and do something. They say no, and China realizes their troops are rebelling. Every single troop does not want to fight. And with this, we see the capturing of Beijing really easily. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. We see the capturing of Beijing really easily, and from here, it's China's downfall time. Wherever Xinjiang is, wherever Shanghai is, that is taken. And at this point, it's falling apart. Japan, in the next coming years or months, will take over the entire Chinese coast, which will be a massive blow on China, to say so. India hasn't really made much advancements. They've made advancements into this area, but India's mainly focusing on making sure Pakistan doesn't rebel. And at this point, China is falling apart, just like they always do in history. China's losing more and more valuable land, as Manchuria will now break away from China. And at this point, China will fall apart and surrender, although they probably wouldn't. So let's take a look at this gigantic peace treaty. So, in the peace treaty, oh boy. Japan takes the entire coast of China, and India will set their claims by taking this land. Well, this isn't really a claim, but they just took it. And also, fixing up this claim, ignore these borders. Xinjiang, Tibet, and Manchuria are all released. And you may think, they're done, right? Oh, no, they're not. They will go to Russia, the number 3 country, and they will say, give us this area over here and you will live. Russia just says, okay. And they will hand it over. Now, normally Russia wouldn't accept that, but after seeing what's happened to China, Russia doesn't really want a repeat of World War II. And also this, including the Kuril Islands. So, Japan will annex them. And after erase this border, this will finish off the empire. And just like that, Japan has finished their empire. This is a gigantic empire. This might actually be one of my biggest empires ever, considering they started just from this. But anyway, that is going to do it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.